we're back. I am excited about this episode. It's a new experience. What I did is it's not a FaceTime call over Zoom. Instead, I actually have this recorder and a microphone, top quality audio on this one. And why not? Because I'm calling a radio legend, Mr. Frazer Smith. So for this episode, it's going to mainly be audio, except for this part. With this machine, it enables me to do more podcasts. So if you listen to me on iTunes or Spotify or however you listen to podcasts, you'll have more episodes because I can start making phone calls. And what I'll try to do is still upload them to YouTube. I'll be banging out the same amount of podcasts on YouTube, but I'll have extra episodes that I'm now able to upload to YouTube and also to my podcast feed. I know it sounds like a lot, but just for now, just know all you got to do is enjoy this episode. All right?
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. Darren.
Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite podcast. The Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite.
And we're back. Hey, everybody, we've got Frazer Smith, a.k.a. Snoop Fraze.
What up, G?
What up? Yo, yo, yo. Dude. Guys, I got to say.
What's happening, player?
Oh, man, we got the biggest player of all time right here on the line, guys. This is so cool. This is modern technology. So I've taken a radio legend and brought him into my world, whether he wants to do it or not. I got this new.
That's a scary proposition. Now, your world, though, right now is sort of in the Fresno area. Am I right?
Yes, you are right, my friend. Yes, you are right. I'm at the farm and I'm keeping myself entertained. And it's hilarious because, I'm like, how can I do my podcast? And I've been doing them via Zoom, on camera for YouTube. But for that, you have to have a super strong Wi-Fi connection to upload it. Otherwise, you're just going to burn through all your. It doesn't really work as well. So, but I can do these phone calls. I got this thing called the Zoom PodTrak P4, and it's like for a couple $100. I can do phone calls, and you make me laugh all the time with your text messages. And I'm like, dude, we should do a thing where maybe you can call in and it doesn't get any easier than this. Remember when you would do radio and you'd have to. I remember a radio story of. I forget his name right now, but he was the black morning radio guy. He's huge in the radio business.
Big boy?
No, he was in Texas. He would do. I want to say he would do morning radio in Texas and Dallas. Hop on a plane and do afternoons in Chicago.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name, but I know exactly who you mean. Yeah.
I think he does he's still huge in the business. Like cruise, or maybe not.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's awesome. He would do a show in one city, and then he'd fly to another city and do another show. You don't have to do that nowadays.
It's great. I mean, just to even put it in podcast terms, I remember like 5-6 years ago, people would be like, "Hey, you want to do my podcast?" And I'd be in Burbank, and then they're like, "It's down by the LAX," and you'd have to get on the 101 to the 405. And remember that, or just sitting in traffic.
Oh yeah. Not long ago, you had to do all that, and he had to fly from city to city. He could just stay in one spot now.
I know. Gosh, who was it? I almost want to Google. But
I'm mad at myself too. I should know his name. I'm blanking on it.
I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to see if I can do it on the line while you're on the line. Radio DJ who would fly from Dallas to Chicago.
It's $1 million question,
oh
folks.
My
if you can
gosh!
answer this one.
You know it. It's Tom Joyner.
Tom Joyner, of course.
Tom Joyner. Why could I not remember that?
Oh yeah, man. Me either. I was on his show for a while. I couldn't even remember it.
That's how it is.
I used to play his agent. Yeah, I used to play his agent on this show.
Oh, that's great. You should play my agent on my show.
Well, good luck.
I know exactly, but this doesn't get any easier. I mean, you literally could be in your bed right now and just literally have the microphone.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I am in bed right now. But here's the thing. I've sent an ordinance up to your area up there right now. I'm trying to get them to change the name of the town to Fresno.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm working on it with the city council up there.
From Fresno to Fresno.
Yeah, come on, man.
They've tried that. I remember like a long time ago, I don't know if they were doing it as a goof, but they were, this is back when I was in high school. I remember they were like, Fresno, it just sounds negative because it has the word no in it. Fresno. So they were like, let's change it to Fres yes. Why not? It's our town. Fres yes. Why not? And we're like, yeah, Fresno or phrase yes.
Yeah, vote yes on phrase in the upcoming election.
And another one they were trying was they were saying like, we're so close to Yosemite, like they have the airport, and they were like, let's Fresno sounds like fresh snow, so that could be our thing. Fresh snow. But then here's what happens. You come here, especially in the summer, and you're like, fresh snow. You're like, hell no. It's 106 degrees here, 110, 112. It's like,
yeah, that snow is not that fresh in the summer.
Yeah. That'd be like Death Valley. We're Breath Valley. This is where you breathe and you ski and, and then you get there. Like
I didn't know you were close to Yosemite. Really? You are?
Yeah. Well, the farm is not, because we're like still like a good 30 minutes away from Fresno, but yeah, Fresno to Yosemite isn't that far. It's I don't know. If I were to guess, I'd say about an hour and 15, hour 20. I should Google it to know for sure. But it's one of those things. It's not that far. I mean, that's why with all those forest fires, really affected us. Like with the smoke.
Yeah.
Right now they're dealing with the creek fire. But today I looked at the air quality, and it's actually good here. We can go outside. It's in the green. It says good. It actually is.
It's getting better when you can actually go outside.
Yeah. I mean, it literally was, you'd go outside. Like I tried to push it a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I'm just going to go outside. I don't care. And I would just go outside and maybe talk on the phone with somebody. And dude, 10 minutes later, you'd come back in, you'd taste it in your mouth. You're like, it's not good when you can taste the air.
It's kind of bad when that's a brave move to just go outside.
Yeah, exactly. Screw it, man. I'm throwing caution to the smoky wind.
I'm going out.
Yeah, this is like, but with this technology of just talking on the phone like this, for a podcast, no less, it's like,
Yeah, it sounds good. It's nice and clear.
Yeah.
The funny thing, though, is if you are in a bad reception zone, like I did one of those Zoom podcast stand-up shows the other night. And, it's fun to do, but I'm up in the hills, the Hollywood Hills, so, I have bad reception. I'm getting a booster now, though. T-Mobile's supposed to be sending me a booster, so it should be here any year now, knowing those guys. But, when I did the show about a week ago, I didn't have the booster, and everything kept cutting out, and I sounded like an 80s video game, telling the jokes, and you're embarrassed because everybody else's Wi-Fi is working better, and you're the one who's screwing up the show. So,
yeah, it's weird.
Although with my jokes, it probably was better that it didn't. They couldn't hear it.
Yeah, because it's like, here's my punchline.
Yeah, that's how it is.
I mean, it's already weird because I've done a few of those Zoom podcast comedy shows where you're like, all right, I'm going to stand up and wear the clothes that I wear on stage and I'm going to go for it. And you're just like, you feel so like shameful when you just shut your computer screen at the end. Like, that was weird.
That's exactly right. And I felt weird about it. And especially since I was the guy that was not tech savvy, mine sounded the worst of anybody's, but still I didn't dig it because you tell a joke and there's no response.
I remember I've talked about this on the podcast, but one of the earliest ones I did, this kid was just eating cereal, just looking at, he's the only one I could see. And I'm just doing my act for some teenager eating cereal and his mom's behind him. And she comes over and she didn't have her reading glasses on. So she's like, what you looking at? And she like squinches her nose and it was right at the part of my act where I'm talking about being married. And I'm just like, this kid doesn't care. Why is he watching me? He should be playing Fortnite or something,
Or you're in the middle of an important Zoom meeting, and all of a sudden there's a cat's butt on the screen because your cat walked across the thing. Or
I know.
You know, your landlord's knocking on the door, or, you know, there's always some weird thing when you're trying to do a Zoom thing.
You know what's funny is we always, whenever I do this, I always, you know, shut the door and I go way in the back of the house and I'm like, I tell everyone, okay, quiet on the set. I'm going to be. So my son has picked that up. You know, he sounds like a showbiz kid when he goes, because he's going to school with, you know, they're all going like this on Zoom. So he's like, okay, everyone, it's 9:00, quiet on the set. He's always like, quiet on the set.
Yeah. Have you seen now they have, they're doing Zoom sitcoms?
No, really?
Yeah, I saw one. I saw an ad for one, and our buddy Preacher Lawson was in it.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't know that was through Zoom. That's cool.
Well, I think he's doing a couple things, but I think one of them is Zoom. I think the original Zoom was sitcom was Brady Bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They were all in those squares and...
Yeah.
You know.
That's what people think of when they think Zoom. They think, oh, it's the Brady Bunch layout. Hey, by the way, I just saw this great question. They said, what's your favorite, or what they said, what's the best TV theme song of all time? And I want to know what your opinion. Now, see, I'll let you answer first, and then I'll tell you what I would say.
Well, I don't know. I would probably say there've been a lot of good ones. I'd probably say Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island.
The 3-hour tour.
Yeah,
the 3-hour tour.
Just sit right back. So I said...
I don't know any of the words, but...
Yeah, I don't either. It's like a 3-hour tour. That is a great one.
That's all I got.
That's a great one. It's well, you know, it's funny. Here's what I said. So I said, "Welcome back, Cotter. Welcome back." I like welcome. Yeah, welcome back, Cotter. And then I thought of the Dukes of Hazzard with Waylon Jennings. Just the good old boys, never meaning no harm. I love that one. And then my wife was
That's
like,
a good one too.
My wife was going. She goes, you know, there is a difference between a memorable jingle and one that's your favorite. And I thought,
annoying.
Yeah, because I do like the Brady Bunch, but it's more like memorable, but I don't think it's my favorite. Like I wouldn't like on my own time listen to it, you know, like I wouldn't, you know,
I don't know I'd listen to any of them on my own time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you know, but I always love, you know, especially, you know, now I live in Beverly Hills and I always love the Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah. Do you, you know what song now some of those songs, I think the theme song is better than the TV show. Like there's a song, I think it's really good. Right. And we were watching, Green Acres, and I think the Green Acres song is awesome, but I couldn't even make it through an episode. I was watching the episode, and I'm like, this is as I used to say, this is boring. New
York is where I want to stay. Yeah, you're right. The theme song is actually better than the show. And I think the other thing is sometimes they can give away too much. Like, even though I love the Gilligan's Island one, it pretty much wraps the whole thing up in the song.
And they'll never get off the island.
Tour, you got the professor and
Marianne and
Ginger, yeah. And then that's it. We don't need to watch the show.
Yeah, and they'll never get off, and you've just wasted 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That was great, though, when I was a kid, though, because it was so funny, like, you know, like, Gilligan, hey, little buddy, and all that stuff, and Skipper. It's so stupid. Then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, well, it's funny, but, you know, there's a lot of...
You know what's also interesting is when you read the history of some of these things on Google, like they shot the Gilligan's Island thing. They had a little pond over on the CBS lot over at Radford, which you and I, of course, go by all the time when we're driving around. And apparently they had a little, and they had to be careful, otherwise you'd see the freeway in the background.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So they had to shoot, oh, my gosh. I didn't know that.
They had to shoot around that because you're supposed to be on a desert island somewhere, and there's the freeway going by. But, they had a little pond apparently there, and that's where they shot all the episodes.
I wonder how they would deal with, like, helicopter, because now there's a lot of, like, police chases and, you know, helicopters at any given moment, and, you know, just, I think
you just keep them in. You know, the professor's like, oh, my God, there's a chopper. We're rescued.
You know, you didn't really watch the show that much, because I think that was a Mr. Howell impression.
Who did I say it was?
I think you said the professor, but...
Oh, no, you're right. It's Mr. Howell.
Ooh, Lovey.
Oh, my God. Lovey. There's a chopper.
You know what's funny? I was telling a buddy the other day, I said, you know, how we were having a hard time remembering the name of that radio DJ. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just because, like this last 6 months, man, I'm like, I sometimes will lose track of the date, the day, the time. I'm like, the time I can kind of keep a track of a little bit, but I'm like, oh, what is this again? Oh yeah, this is September. That's right, it's September. It's today's Friday.
Who am I talking to now?
Exactly.
Oh, it's Darren. Darren, yeah, hi, Darren. Yeah, no, you do. You get foggy. I mean, I'm kind of foggy anyway at my advanced age. But, I mean, you get even weirder. Yeah, if you're sitting around for 5 or 6 months, you lose track of time. It's true. It's weird.
Do you watch Jeopardy at all?
I try not to. It always lowers my self-esteem.
I was going to say...
I can't answer anything.
I was watching Jeopardy. I don't know if it was the debut episode of this season, but we were watching it last week, I want to say. I only got like 3 questions right. I'm like, why did they make the debut episode, the questions so hard? I felt really like, Well,
you get respect for the people on there because you're like, wow, they are smart. Because I don't know anything. It really bugs me about certain things like history because I realize how little history I really know.
I talked to a history teacher once, and I said, I do find history like more interesting now than when I was, like 13.
Oh, I love it, and I love watching the History Channel and those channels, because, for example, I should know way more than I do about, the world wars and stuff like that. I turns out I know nothing. So then I know the basics, but when you really look into it, you're like, I'm fascinated now. I guess it's because in school, I don't know about you, but I just didn't care in school. I just wanted to screw around and get in trouble. That's kind of what comedians are like. We are always joking around, and that's how I always viewed school. I never took it seriously. But now as I get older, I do have a hunger for learning stuff that I never had before.
That's right. A hunger for learning and a thirst for knowledge.
I guess, yeah.
That's what I always tell my
which
kids.
means I'm very hungry and very thirsty because it turns out I know nothing.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoopsie daisy. I remember that history teacher was at a party, and he had kind of this little stock answer he'd say. I go, history is it's so interesting now that I'm older. And he goes, and I remember he nudged his glasses down on the tip of his nose, and he goes, well, what's changed, you or history?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay.
Smarty.
Exactly.
Smarty pants.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, teachers are always, they're going to always rub it. They're going to rub it in every chance they get.
Right. And some of them,
it's true, though.
I tell you, and some of them get arrested for rubbing it in.
Hey, it's going to cost you in Hollywood. Okay. All right. You know what? But they're right though, because we should have paid more attention. Probably. I wish I had anyway.
That's right. That's right, folks. We got Tom Joyner on the line. We've got
Tom Joyner.
I don't know why I couldn't remember Tom Joyner.
That guy.
It's like not.
What did they call him? They used to.
Yeah.
They used to call him the jet jock or something like that.
Oh my
gosh! He would take a jet every day.
I just think.
Wow.
I mean, I guess at the time it was really cool. I mean, Hey, who wouldn't do that? I mean, you imagine. You're getting paid.
Well, remember, Frank Caliendo, right? The comedian?
Yeah.
So good, man. He's so talented. What an amazing impressionist and funny guy. But he had a regular show in Vegas. I think it was like a nightly, 5 nights a week, like a residency, right? But he didn't live in Vegas. He lived in, I don't know where he lived. I'm probably wrong about this, but somewhere like Austin, Texas or something. And he would fly into Vegas every day and do the show and then fly out.
Phoenix, I think. Was it Phoenix?
Was it Phoenix, maybe? Yeah. It might have been. But at any rate, he lived in a different city and would fly in, do the show, fly out every day.
Wow. I remember the first time I heard of somebody doing that was our old buddy, comedian Vic Dunlop. And Vic was working in Vegas, and then he had to do the morning show producing at Power 106. And I remember he would do his show, hop on a plane, be there for the morning radio. And I go, how do you do that, man? And he goes, I take Einstein naps, just a couple hours here, a couple hours there, Einstein naps. But that's something that I don't think you can sustain that, man. I mean, he might have done that for that 1 week, but like I
take a lot of naps, but it doesn't make me any smarter. I'm no Einstein. I'll tell you that much.
I know. Hey, that's what I should tell my wife that. Hey, I'm not being lazy. I'm taking Einstein naps.
There you go. I'm trying to get smarter.
Exactly. By the way, I'm having fun with this the sound effect button. I may be, for the listeners, I may be overusing it, but every time I say a silly joke, I hit it with the drum roll. Or that I'm having fun with it.
A snare.
A snare. Drum, yeah. This little thing.
Rim shot. They call it a rim shot.
Rim shot. That's what it is. Boom.
Hey, okay, hey. All right.
So it comes with like preloaded sound effects, and also you can input your own. So I put the boring, I put that, and I think I put the, I don't know what else I put in there. Maybe that's all I put in there. Oh yeah, okay. My other one, I must have deleted it, but I had another one where I had my son going, "We're done with this interview," but I think I actually deleted that file. Hey, do you want to get to some news, or what do you?
Well, let's see. What can we do? I could read a couple of my new jokes if you want to hear those.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. Oh, by the way, before we do that, can I hear some of the Snoop? Do you have some of that funny?
Oh, I wrote some text there. I didn't get too far on them, but I wrote a couple of verses of. Well, let me see what I got. Hold on.
Okay. So Frazer was texting these to me. And I was like, man, this is hilarious. And for the listener,
hold on, talk amongst yourselves.
Okie dokie. Yeah. So what's great about Frazer? One of the things I love about Frazer is he's king of the callbacks. He'll text you something, and then you'll think the text message is over, and then like a day later he'll finish up with more to the text of funniness, or maybe he'll wait an hour later or 10 minutes. You just don't know when the next one's coming around the bend, and it's hilarious.
I never know. I don't know. Okay, let me read. Yeah. I'll read a couple. Here's one right now. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 into the foe. The smoke and fires are at your door, ready to make an entrance. So you better back on up, because they're about to burn things up. Give me that fire hose first, so I can put out the flames on the rubble. Compton and Long Beach are on fire, man. You know we're in trouble. Ain't nothing but a smoke thing, baby, to loped out firemen because we're crazy.
Hey, I'm going to try my Snoop Dogg impression to it.
LAPD is a company that pays me.
Hey.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, I'm going to do my, can you hear me?
Let's see.
I'm going to do my Snoop Dogg. Can you hear me? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3 into the 4. The smoke and the fires are at your door, ready to make an entrance. So back on up, because we about to get things burned up. Yeah. Give me the fire hose first, so I can bust on the flames like the rubble. Compton and Long Beach on fire, man. You know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a smoke thing, baby. Two loped out firemen, because we crazy.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this one? I'm creeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping. I almost got caught because my smoke alarm kept beeping. It's time for me to make my impression felt. So, wait a minute, I'm reading the wrong one.
No, I think you got it. I think you're like, hey, that was a text to my. You're like, that was a text to my girlfriend. All right. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You never been in a
wreck. Now, hold on a second. I'm beeping and I'm freeping and I'm creeping. I almost got caught because my smoke alarm kept beeping. It's time for me to make my fire hose felt, so sit back, relax, and ignore the smoke you just smelled. Because you've never seen a fire truck like this before, with firemen who carry a big axe to break down your door.
That's awesome.
I'm creeping and I'm freeping and I'm peeping.
I'm beeping.
But I almost got in trouble because my smoke alarm kept beeping.
Yeah, with the fireman. I know it's funny because at first I was like, "Is he just texting me the real lyrics?" I'm like, "No, this is a parody."
Well, you know what's funny is I get into everything late. Like for some reason, I just got into "Ain't Nothing But a G Thing."
Ain't nothing but a G thing. Baby.
I mean, I've heard it, of course, but I never really. Now I can't stop playing it. I play it over and over and over.
Yeah, you put
I don't know what it is.
1,
the video.
2,
I play the
3
video.
To the 4. Snoop. I love it.
Doggy Dog.
Yeah, I do the same.
Fantastic song.
You know what song I listened to the other day, and I don't know. You know what it is? Okay, so I had Steve Simone on the podcast, and he left L.A., and so I titled the thing "Leaving L.A.," and it was.
Did he leave L.A.?
He left L.A., really? Man. Steve Simone.
Where did he go?
He moved to Florida. You know
what?
Yeah, at least for a while. You know, because he's just like he didn't feel. You know, in his words, he said he didn't feel safe in L.A. with all that's happening, and you know the clubs aren't open. He's just waiting around. It's like you know, but a lot of guys will. I'm sure they'll come back, but for now, so I was thinking about all of our friends and comedians that are leaving LA, and then I looked up. Just when I wrote "leaving LA," it reminded me of there's a singer named Beth Hart, and she had a song called, I think, LA Song, where she's talking about leaving LA. And I've been listening to that song. But I mean, that's one of those songs. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Do you know that song by Beth Hart?
I don't know that song, but I remember X had a song called Los Angeles where it was talking about leaving LA.
Yeah.
And,
oh, really? Oh, I'm going to look that up.
Remember Gladys Knight and the Pips had...
Oh, yeah, Georgia. Going back to Georgia. Yeah. On the Midnight Train to Georgia. That's what it was.
Midnight Train to Georgia, yeah. LA proved too much for the man.
And then there's another song where they talk about leaving. It never rains in Southern California.
That's another one.
That's another one, man.
And they're right about that. It never does rain. If you're looking for rain, this is the wrong place to be. Well, I hate to see people leaving like that. Our friend Joe Rogan just recently, I don't know if he's left yet, but he was talking about leaving. He's got the most popular podcast in the world, and he was going to leave. I think he was going to Texas.
Yeah, Austin. And I just read that you never know these headlines. It's like, Joe Rogan just bought a $14.5 million home in Austin.
Well, and then Uncle Joey Diaz, apparently Joey just moved back to New Jersey.
Yep.
And guys are leaving. It's a strange time, and I do think some will definitely be back. Can
I tell you? I brought this up on the podcast before, but I love the song, and "It Never Rains in Southern California" by Albert Hammond. Some of the lyrics, I always thought it was literally talking about the rain and how it's sunny, but no, man, the lyrics are kind of sad because he basically comes out here for his dreams. Things don't happen. Boom, he goes back home. So here's some of the lyrics. It says, got on board of a westbound 747, didn't think before deciding what to do. Oh, that's the talk of opportunities, TV breaks and movies. It rang true. So that's him flying to LA. But then he's saying it never rained on him. He never got any of the, the joys and the fruition and the fruits of what happens in Hollywood. So at one point in the song, he says, out of work, I'm out of my head, out of self-respect, I'm out of bread. I'm underloved, I'm underfed, I want to go home. It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn you? It pours, man, it pours. So when it does rain, it pours on you. And then he says, apparently in the song, I guess he runs into somebody because he says, will you tell the folks back home that I nearly made it? I had offers, but didn't know which one to take. And please don't tell them how you found me. Please don't tell them how you found me, man. Give me a break. Come on, give me a break. Oh, man.
Sounds like
so
a very
sad.
Positive song.
I know, dude. I know. That's not. Yeah.
The bad news is he left, and then the song hit number one, and then he wished he'd stayed.
He's like, damn it! I left at my rent-controlled apartment, man. Gosh.
I bailed on the rent control, and now I got the number one song.
It finally rained in California.
Somebody sent me a really good clip the other day that I'll share with you about Kevin Costner. It was the what is the English talk show host name? Graham Norton? Is that his name?
Yeah, Graham Norton, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's like the he's like the Letterman or Leno of or Jimmy Fallon of England, right? So, and on the dais, I just know that Ricky Gervais was on this. Some other celebrities were on there, a couple big actors and actresses. And Costner told a great story about, he said, when you come to Hollywood, he goes, you've got your friends, and he says, somebody always makes it first, and then they try to help their friends, if they can. And he said, he hit it in movies and that he then tried to help a buddy of his from college, a writer. And that the guy, he wound up staying at Costner's house, and he was just going to stay for a little while, and he wound up, staying for like 6 months. And so Costner's wife asked him to please leave, He goes, you got to go. And he wasn't really writing anything. He was just kind of noodling around, and Costner kept saying, can I read what you've got? And he go, no, you can't, no. So he moved to New Mexico. He was there, and then he was floundering there, too. He didn't have any money, and so Costner had to keep sending him money. And finally, he says, all right, you can read one of my pieces. And it was Dancing with Wolves.
Wow.
Yeah. And he just recently passed away, apparently. His last name was Blake, and I should know his first name. I don't. He just recently passed away at 69 years old, and that was an award-winning movie.
That was a great movie. I saw that movie with my grandparents. It was so good. It was
award-winning, and that was the one he'd been writing all that time. And I just like the way Costner, and he wasn't bragging about it. He said it very casually, but he said, you know what, you got to try to help your friends. I really liked his attitude on that. And it was funny, and Ricky Gervais says, well, he says, that's very admirable. He goes, I never help anyone.
By the way, the screenplay writer was Michael Blake.
Michael Blake.
Michael Blake. I just looked it up. Yeah, guys, if you've never seen it, it's a great movie. It's a Civil War soldier develops a relationship with a band of, I want to say, Lakota Indians. Attracted by the simplicity of their lifestyle, he chooses to leave his former life behind to be with them. Having observed him, they give him the name Dances with Wolves. Yeah.
Well, I almost said Dances for Wolves. That would be a whole different thing. That'd be about a Civil War guy joins a strip club.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Hey, somebody want to touch this musket?
But I thought that was a nice story that Costner told, of trying to help his friends and stuff. And
it is. You know how it is. It's sometimes, I don't know if it's a fear of success or whatever, but I have tried to help some friends where I'm like, dude, you need to start with just let's start simple, just get a headshot, because they're going to be like, can you send us a picture? And and then you got the friend that just, they hesitate and they're like, well, yeah, I'll do it. And they never do it. It's like, man,
Well, I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen. You come out and you roll the dice, and of course, talent comes into play, and there's so many talented people out here that wind up not making it too. There's so many talented people, and not all of them get that break. It's hard to say who's going to or when you're going to, and but they always tell you don't quit because you never know.
Yeah.
When it could happen.
And also, I think the key is to definitely, try to have fun on the journey. They always say enjoy the journey, and that's not something you want to hear when you're not in the mood. But then when you really look back, it is enjoying the journey.
Well, it is, and I think we're a little bit luckier than most in terms of actors and singers and stuff. They don't have that nightly camaraderie that comedians get, because we don't have it now. We miss it because the clubs aren't open. But when the clubs are rolling, you get to see your friends almost every night. You're out doing a set and you're not getting paid much. And, and if you're in town anyway, when you're on the road, you can make some money. But when you're in town, you're just doing it for a small amount of money, but you at least are seeing your friends every night. So you can enjoy the journey, because afterwards you can go out and get something to eat or get a drink or whatever. Your friends are there almost every night, somebody So we're kind of luckier that way in terms of the enjoying the journey part.
Yeah.
Because it is enjoyable to see your friends every night and be able to hang out, upstairs at the club after your set and stuff.
By the way, have you been to Greenblatt's lately? I haven't been to Greenblatt's since.
I haven't. We always go there because it's next to the Laugh Factory, one of our favorite clubs, and so we go there and eat after the show sometimes. And we know the owner, Jeff, who's a great guy, and they have been there forever, Greenblatt's Deli. But I haven't been there since the COVID thing hit. I'm still a little afraid to go into a restaurant.
Yeah.
I know I sound like a wimp, but I just am. And they really don't have outdoor facilities to eat there. I wouldn't.
I know.
So I guess but you know what? I think they probably do a pretty big takeout business.
Yeah. Because, I would imagine. Yeah.
Everybody does takeout from them, even when the COVID thing isn't happening. People come down from the Hollywood Hills. It's close, and they get takeout. And so I suppose they're still doing okay with that.
Man, their food is great. I mean, I love going to Greenblatt. I can't, and next year or whenever, I would love to, do a set, go back to Greenblatt's, get some, get some of those knishes, get like a chicken soup, the matzo ball soup. Just, I love that.
Their food is great.
Yeah. And part of it is, like you said, the hang, like you're having food, you're hanging with a friend, a couple more comedians come in, maybe some people that were at the show, and they, you're just having fellowship with people whose intention was to laugh and bring humor and bring comedy to the world. And it's great. I love it.
Well, it's funny, the little things that you miss, It's the little things, stuff like that. Just like you say, just having a knish and talking to your buddies after the show. It's not big time anything, but it's something you really miss. And I think you don't miss it till it's gone. They always say that. It's kind of true.
Yeah.
The other thing with comedians, and you're very helpful to me anyway in this regard, is you can help each other tag some of your jokes or tweak a joke a certain way. And, sometimes your friends can say, hey, why don't you try this at the end of that joke? Or why don't you switch this around to that?
Oh, I loved it.
You're real good at that. And, it's always been helpful to me because I just do the one-liner jokes. And a lot of times I don't quite have the right wording. And then you'll say, no, I want you to say this, And so those kind of after the show sessions are good for that too.
Yeah, I remember reading once that Richard Jeni said that after the show is great because all the things are, all the, I think he said neurons in your brain are all firing like ding, 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 comedy, comedy, ding, 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 comedy, comedy. He goes, if you can resist the temptation to chase the local tail, then literally,
Which, by the way, Rich never could.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of opening for him for, he's one of the best stand-up comedians ever. Just plain stand-up. I mean, he was absolutely tremendous. And I got to open for him, and I was always amazed at how bad I was compared to him.
Gosh.
I was always like, wow, man, I'll never be that good. He just could write. Leno said it one time. He said, when people would get done doing the Tonight Show, they would say to him, he'd say, what are you going to do now? He'd go, well, I'm going to go home and write my next special. And he goes, Rich would say that, and he would actually do it. And he said he'd have a new special written in 2 weeks.
Wow.
He was just an amazing writer and performer. And it was intimidating working with him in a way because I couldn't come up with anywhere near that kind of material. But it was fun working with him, too, because he was so good on stage. I mean, you could watch him every night, and you'd be like, wow, man. And then he was always chasing tail after the show. Successful or not, that was his thing, I used to get a kick out of working with him, man.
Man, we'll wind this down and wrap it up. I know, tell us some jokes you were working on, just spontaneous.
Let me see what we got.
Yeah, spontaneously on the phone the other day. I was telling Frazer, I said, I was thinking about some of my classic bits that people like, like when I would do Gangland, tell us about your gang. And the gang member would be hidden with the bandana. We run the streets. We're not scared of nothing. We run the streets. And I told him, I go, maybe. Yeah.
Bring that joke back, man. I'm telling you, that's a funny joke. I always love the way you do it, and you pull your T-shirt over your head.
And so the guy can't going back and forth. Right now we're trying to keep socially distant. I could make it like, I could update it. We run the streets. Which street do you run? The one by the mall where Circus City used to be, where it got closed down, but we run it.
Well, as an older comic, I'd be like, I walk the streets.
Yeah. An older
can't run anymore. My knee.
Yeah, exactly. I can make the older gang member like he's like, I walk the streets.
Yeah.
What was that thing you sent me this morning about Twitter about the gangster?
Oh, I said an older gangster today would be like.
No, I remember what it was. I know what it was. Yeah,
I know. Instead of I run the streets, I run the tweets.
Oh yeah, exactly. You guys go run the streets. I'll be holding it down on social media. I run the tweets.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There you go.
And I love that.
Here's some of my latest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what do you got?
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I love doing that bit because I love going back and forth with the two voices. Tell us more about your gang. And what do you run exactly when you say social media? I run the tweets. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
That's a great bit. You got to bring that one back.
There's something.
And we all do this, but you got rid of a couple of, or didn't get rid of them, but you just stopped doing certain bits because you'd moved on, which is great because you're always writing new stuff, coming up with new ideas and stuff. But I like some of your old bits too, man.
I should go way back and do one of my first bits. The first year of comedy, I got. Do you know I got banned from performing ever in Kingsburg, California? I think I could go back now, but this is back in the day because I performed at a public park. Well, I performed at a park, Kingsburg, California. This is in the 80s. I was right out of high school. And I used to do Ronald Reagan rapping. And I thought it was funny that Reagan rapping, but apparently 4 people complained, and the mayor, and we weren't allowed to go back there and do comedy. But like,
isn't it weird, man?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like you almost have to do a little bit of political stuff if you can't. And by the way, what's the harm in Reagan rapping? That's not even... I
know, compared to what they say now and what's written, all this vulgar material. But back then it was like, well, my name is... I used to go, well, I like to... How'd it go? I like to rap and I like to rock. I like to bust beats and I forgot. Nancy, come here and tickle my fancy. Or whatever. It was just stupid. It was like, it wasn't even the most original idea, but,
I don't know. Some people are very touchy about political stuff, but I always think you got to do a little, and that's pretty harmless. But you're right. These days, it's crazy what happens.
Yeah.
All right. And these are work in progress, so I got a couple here. Let's see. What do I got? Like we were talking about, people are now leaving L.A. Well, great. Maybe now I can find a parking space. That's the entire joke.
I love that. That's awesome.
Here, let's see what else I've got. I was sweating like Joe Exotic at a PETA rally. Let's see, Conor McGregor, UFC fighter Conor McGregor got busted for indecent exposure. That's what you get for rear naked choking your chicken in public. It's crazy.
Hey, doesn't he have like a whiskey or something?
Yeah, Proper 12 whiskey. And that's the other joke I was trying to write there, something about got busted for indecent exposure. Talk about a Proper 12. Wait a minute, it's only 6.
The girl was like, that's an improper 3.
That's a 3, yeah.
He's like, come on, it's cold in here. Somebody turn off the air conditioner.
I was sweating like the crowd when it's Dr. Fauci's turn at the axe throwing bar.
Oh, I like that. So it's like, oh yeah, because you do a lot of those. Boy, it's hot in here. I'm sweating like, or whatever. He's sweating like, yeah. Dr. Fauci. How's it go again? Dr. Fauci.
Like the crowd when it's Dr. Fauci's turn at the axe throwing bar.
Oh yeah, because did you see that?
Remember he threw that pitch out, and it was. And I had another joke on that. I go, everybody's still talking about Dr. Fauci throwing out that pitch at the baseball game. Even then, he was practicing social distancing by keeping the ball at least 6 feet away from the catcher. Remember, he threw it about a mile away?
Yeah.
All right, then I have one about the earthquake. We just had another earthquake here in Southern... I said, we're used to them in Southern California. We're like, you know what? The couch does look better over there.
I go like this. I like my women like I like my earthquakes. Having my girl ask, was this the big one? That's so stupid.
Okay, here's one. I'm still a radio DJ, and the most requested song during the pandemic?
What's that?
Police, Don't Stand So Close to Me. All right, here's one. Ellen's taking a lot of heat because they're saying that she's mean to people.
Yeah.
A reporter asked Ellen if it was true. She was like, no, and fuck off. No, and you can fuck off.
No, and you can just fuck off. No. You can just fuck the right off.
You can just fuck off.
You can just fuck off. Yeah.
All right. Then Dr. Dre's getting a divorce, and his wife is asking for $2 million a month alimony. Well, I bet that's one person Dre wishes would forget about Dre.
Don't forget about Dre, except for my ex-wife. Can you go ahead and just forget about it?
Yeah. I wonder how much she's paying the pool boy.
I know, it's a lot of money.
$2 million a year. Yeah. A lot of dry cleaning.
Let's see, I think he had those headphones called like Beats too, like the Dre Beats.
Yeah.
So
I sure hope Dre beats the case.
I put a drum roll right there. Hopefully it came across.
Let's hope that worked out. All right, here's another one. Now they have drive-by graduation. Remember the old days when you might have a drive-by at your graduation?
Oh, yeah. Or like, don't they always throw up the gown, or they throw up the caps at the graduation? They throw the caps up.
Yeah, but remember you used to read about it. Somebody would do a drive-by at a
oh my gosh. You could do something like now they have now they duck and cover, or instead of I got you, instead of throwing because they have the caps and gowns, instead of throwing their caps, they're busting caps. I don't know.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. Like
yeah. Instead of throwing caps, they were busting caps. I'm writing that down. Okay, here's my last one, I think, for the day. Cardi B also getting a divorce. Yeah, apparently WAP also stands for whack-ass prenup. Is that okay?
Yeah, I like that one. I hit the wrong button, though. Yeah, that's good. WAP also stands for whack-ass prenup.
WAP also stands for whack-ass prenup. Or prenup. Okay.
Here's one for you. I don't know if there's anything. I don't really have a joke for it. I just thought the title was hilarious. It said that this was on the news today. A rat that sniffs out landmines and bombs received an award for bravery.
A rat did? Really?
Yeah, he did. And I was just thinking, like, well, first of all, I don't think that rat knows he's brave. He probably doesn't even know what he's doing, But he received an award for sniffing out bombs. And I'm like, that's another reason not to have rats in the comedy clubs.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Taco Bell. This is actually true, Darren. Taco Bell's coming out with their own wine. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Taco Bell's coming out with their own wine. Apparently, it's the only wine with a worm at the bottom. It's very high quality. It's been aged 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I said,
or maybe you could even say like age 15 minutes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's better.
Make it even shorter. Like it's been aging or something like while you order it in the drive-thru or something. I don't know.
I like 15 minutes. Okay, yeah. And then here's the other one. It's a red wine. Oh, well, doesn't white wine go better with a chalupa?
Yeah. Oh, what if you drink too much of that wine? You get a 7-layered burrito and a 7-layered headache.
Oh, there you go.
Something, I don't know.
7-layer.
I'm getting. You know what though? I'm getting hungry right now. This podcast is making me hungry.
I know, because we're doing all these food jokes.
So Taco Bell has their own wine. I wonder if other restaurants would have if they would start their own alcohol.
Here's my other one.
Yeah.
I go car chase channel. I go. I say, we need a car chase channel. They put them on every channel anyway. The suspect is on the 405, channel 7. Telemundo, El Pendejo está el 405. How about this one? I'm a Lions fan, and so I drove into my car dealership the other day, and the salesman spotted my Lions bumper sticker. He was like, "Why lower the price of the vehicle?"
I like that.
Because the Lions suck. They suck. I think that's all the new ones I have.
That's good, man. Yay, Frazer Smith,
buddy. I must tell you. Yeah, I gotta work on that Ellen one.
No, I like that Ellen one. That's good. That's a really good one.
How about this one? This is another one. They say the recent wildfires in Southern California originated from a gender reveal party in the hills. Well, whatever that poor kid's gender is, they're always going to be. They are always going to be blamed for starting the fires. Yeah. Hey, aren't you the Bobcat baby?
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, because it's the Bobcat fires, right?
Yeah, Bobcat fires. People might not know that. All right. Well, anyway, that's what I got.
That's good, man. You guys, give it up to Frazer Smith.
Buddy, I tell you, we get it going, Dylan Cartel.
This is great,
we must
man.
do the joke.
I love this. I'd love to have you back on again. This is even better because, people that have followed this podcast, that Frazer and I a lot of times will record in the car or, we'll have dinner somewhere and then record real quick. And, I think I've had you at the green rooms of different comedy clubs. This is the most convenient, kind of cool way to do it. And, over the phone, dang, this is awesome. And you really brought it today.
we've done thank you, buddy. We've done a lot of our shows at the Smokehouse restaurant in, I guess that's Burbank, right? There's a Toluca Lake Smokehouse, right? The famous Smokehouse. But now when you think about it, Darren, because of the fires, everywhere is the Smokehouse.
Yeah, I know. The Smokehouse. And when we write jokes, I like what you always say about it. You know what remember what you would call the Smokehouse?
Oh, yeah, the Joke House.
The Joke House.
Because that's what it is when we're there, buddy.
That feels like old Hollywood. Like, I think that place was built in, I want to say, like 1948. And you walk in there and you feel like you could, like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's where, like, the Rat Pack would hang out, or, you know.
Well, that's why it's fun to write there, because it does have that old Hollywood vibe. So you feel like, you know, probably writers were in there writing for Milton Berle or something back in the day.
Exactly.
You know, you hope some of that vibe rubs off on you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I enjoyed it. As always, your podcast is great. And I love the Darren Carter podcast fans. They are awesome. I know you got a lot of them now. And it's a pretty good connection from Fresno.
It's pretty good, man. You know, I know you're working on a project. I don't know if it's a secret, but you guys look out for Frazer. He filmed something, and it'll be out. And you can also hear him on radio if you're in Los Angeles is it KLOS?
KLOS, 95.5 KLOS.
KLOS 95.5.
So, yeah, well, I'll keep it posted on that TV thing. But we shot the pilot, looking good. He's
looking good, and Frazer's one of those guys, man. When the clubs open up again, he is just hilarious. And when you know he's on the bill, it's one of those guys. The guy's funny, he's classy, he's friendly, and you know when we did Vegas last year, and shout out to my cousin who drove in from LA, and he had like I want to say like 10 things for you to sign, man, and you signed every one of them, and you're so good to the fans and the people that. You know,
your cousin's a cool guy. And you know what? I really enjoyed those shows in Vegas. We worked with Joe Napodi, and I thought that was a great lineup. You, me, and Joe Napodi. We just had a good time.
It was great. And then we'd go to Wolfgang Puck's afterwards for dinner. And
yeah,
remember the first time? Bro. Yeah, first time Joe kind of hooked it up, and we were like a little embarrassed. But then we ended up getting like they kept comping us like. It was really a great experience. You know?
Yeah, and of course, Joe kept working it for more and more. Yeah. I will have another pizza over here.
Yeah, exactly.
They wind up giving us like 50 free pizzas.
Yeah.
We still owe them, man. But that was fun, man, and hopefully we'll get to do it again sometime soon.
Fraze, you're the best, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for bringing the comedy and the conversation. You rock, bro.
You do. Thank you so much for having me on the show, D. I'll talk to you soon.
We're done.
Stay out of trouble up there in Fresno.
I will, buddy. Thank you so much. Bye.
10-4.
He's out. Bye.
We're done with this interview.
That was cool. That was so cool. Guys, thanks for listening. I'm excited. This is the first time I've done a whole full podcast over the phone. Let me know what you think. And if you get a chance, go to that YouTube channel, youtube.com/Darren Carter. You'll see a lot of my podcasts on there, my stand-up, my interviews, and little slices of life, little vlogs. And if you want to donate, you know, to keep this thing going, go to Venmo. It's at Darren Carter Comic on Venmo. Everybody that donates, I appreciate it. I'll give you shout-outs, give you lots of stuff back. And because of your donations, I was able to purchase this piece of equipment and keep you entertained. So thank you so much. I'm also on PayPal, DarrenCarter.com. Click that PayPal button. And that's it, man. Get on with your day. Thank you so much. And all right, now, don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt nobody. Be careful.